Well, I think architecture and design has got a lot to do with sustainability, and they do intersect in more ways than one can imagine. For instance, I think today especially, of any period in fact, architecture does have an obligation, if not a responsibility, to create a sustainable environment where people live comfortably. And this can be achieved through a few ways of design. And it's usually climate and energy related. I think it's possible for architecture to create a sustainable environment in the way that it addresses climatic situations. For instance, I think architecture is able to create an environment free of excess heat or even rainwater or even sometimes light. And there have been occasions where sun shading devices and rain preventing elements have been used to create this sustainable environment. I think these days the issue of globalization and urbanization are becoming hot topics. Simply because, for instance, in land-scarce Singapore, where there is a shortage of land, urbanization has become very dense and compact, and in most cases leading to rather unpleasant habitable conditions. So again, architecture and urbanization can mitigate against these problems by creating beautiful spaces, sustainable spaces, where it's free and easy and wonderful to be enjoyed by most. I think in view of the rapid growth of urbanization, adaptability, refurbishment, preservation and conservation will continue to be important considerations for design. Rather than demolish, one should be looking towards the preservation and conservation of old buildings and then enhancing them to accommodate contemporary demands. Yes, I think architecture can actually relieve mental stress and mental well-being by simply making the environment fun. And I think the issue of fun has been a forgotten thing that the architects and designers in general can try to incorporate into the things that they do. The idea is to make the environment self-sustaining in a way that it can be rediscovered in a variety of ways, so that it's just fun to inhabit and to discover and rediscover them. In short, architecture ought not be boring. I think one of the major things that architecture can do, and it is certainly something we try to do, is to design with less dead ends, to design with less dead-end spaces. So, for instance, you can engage a space or a room from a variety of directions, whether it's entering right or exiting left. And in that way, it sustains the curiosity, it sustains the usability of its occupants and inhabitants. Yes, I think there has been lots of good examples, primarily coming from the traditions of good modern architecture, in the sense that spaces are freely planned in the best traditions of modernity, where spaces are fluid, spaces organically flowing, and that generates and creates interest, and it really sustains, I think, a good mental state. I think the WAF is a wonderful thing, and Paul Finch, through the past 16 years, and his team has done a wonderful job in bringing WAF all over the world and back to Singapore. The degree of interaction amongst individuals, professionals, practitioners, even friends and strangers, I think is a wonderful way to enhance knowledge about the architecture profession. And if nothing else, just a great opportunity to integrate all walks of life. For instance, in the panel that I judged today, you had delegates from Iran, from South Africa, from England, from China, and that created and stimulated a very healthy exchange of ideas. So WAF is important because it brings the world together in terms of design, and if nothing else, just friendliness amongst people interested in design.